What is going on, YouTube people? New Cards and Comics here today. We're going to talk about repacks and why Fanatics and everybody wants in on this. And we're going to do that by looking at Courtyard.io. Now, you may or may not be familiar with this company. I'm vaguely familiar with them. If you've submitted the PSA, they do some co-marketing where, I've gotten emails from Courtyard.io. They've done a lot on social. I get Instagram ads for them all the time, Facebook ads. There was recently which according to them was not them, but I saw the Sports Card Nonsense guys kind of give them a little bit of crap for the amount of crazy Facebook posts that kept popping up in the SCN Facebook group about a month ago. They've been around for a while, but it feels like they've been getting more and more traction recently. So, and we have some crazy numbers to look at, and that's what we're going to kind of base this off of. If you're not familiar with them, a high-level overview. Essentially, it's a digital repack. You don't need a breaker. You make an account, you log in, you pick which version you want to open, and you're off and running. You pull a hit, and they give you the option to instantly buy it back. Anything that you pull, you can immediately sell it back to them. So if you spin the wheel for a $50 repack and you pull a $500 card, they'll offer to instantly buy it back from you for, let's say, $400, $425. Boom, done. Now you got $400 in your pocket. They get the card back. They put it back into circulation, rinse, and repeat. And you can see down here at the bottom, as I am talking, these are all cards that have just been pulled. And it tells you a minute ago, a minute ago, a minute ago. These are all graded cards, and the interesting thing that Courtyard.io does is every card has an NFT assigned to it. And listen, I am no NFT bro. I am definitely a little out of my element when it comes to talking about NFTs. But the long and short of it is, because there's an NFT attached to it, everything is tracked. All their transactions are tracked. Everything has a fingerprint to go with it. You could follow the breadcrumb trail as it moves throughout the individual ecosystem. Look, as we're talking, 3 more just got pulled. So just in the course of the couple of minutes on this video, about a couple, look, it's just flying. Dozens of these things have been purchased. Okay. Courtyard.io, now I don't know what their profit margins are, but revenue wise are absolutely printing money. And this is going to show you how much money is in this space and the reason why everyone wants a chunk of this. And this is a big driver probably behind why Fanatics wants insta-rips. Now, keep this in mind. Courtyard.io, they have a little bit of marketing power. Imagine the numbers that we're about to go over, but being pushed by someone like Fanatics, who has massive marketing power with Fanatics Live, with their breakers, with their influence, with everything. All the eyeballs that they have access to across their various platforms. So, because this is an NFT, you can run reports on it on this wonderful Dune website that I was introduced to very recently that I have very little idea how to use. But you can run reports, because everything's an NFT, to get an idea of what is going on over there. So here we see, this is Courtyard.io, daily transactions. This is how many transactions happen per day. Now, I should note, Courtyard does also have a marketplace. So this is incorporating the repack and also marketplace transactions. And the marketplace sells stuff decently enough, but I mean, you saw, once again, going back over here, how quickly this ticker kept moving with people buying into the repack. So they've been around since early 2024. You could see very limited number of transactions in early 2024. And then look at how this thing just goes crazy late 2024 and into 2025. Here, this is back in September. They were doing about 10,000 transactions a day. And like I said, that's repack and also from the marketplace. But my assumption here is that a bulk of this is coming from the repack side of it, not the marketplace side of it. Fast forward here, we move into November, about 20,000 transactions per day. That's a pretty good day there, down to 14,000. And then in 2025, they ramp up the marketing budget. This is when I started seeing a lot more posts about them on social, whether it was ads, like actual legitimately ads from Courtyard.io, and then also just people making random posts, whether they were ads or not. I have no way of knowing that. They made it seem like it was, oh my God, look at what I just hit on my Courtyard.io thing. Random posts on Facebook in various sports card groups. So they were doing 10 to 15,000, maybe 20,000 on a really good day. Roll into early or late January. All of a sudden, we're at 35,000 transactions per day. Regularly doing 30,000. Now we're clipping into 40,000 transactions per day. We get more into mid-February around Valentine's Day. You know, nothing says Happy Valentine's Day like a repack. 50,000 transactions, 95,000 transactions, 62,000 transactions in a single day. Wild numbers of transactions. Now, it has slowed down a little bit, but it seems like it's settled in at about 50,000 transactions per day. Crazy stuff. Now, we have the transactions per day. That's all well and good, but what does that really mean? Let's take it one step further. You can see the sales volume in revenue by month. So, as we could see back in early 2024, you know, they weren't crushing it. Just starting out, 360,000 in December of 2023. We got 45,000, 245,000, or 243,000 rather. And then it slowly starts to ramp up as we move throughout 2024. Mid 2024, they did 1.7 million. Okay, not terrible. That seems like a ton of money when you really think about it. 1.6 million, 3 million in August, almost 5 million in September, 6.6 million in October, 9 million in November, and just over 9 million in December in a single month. Now, this is sales volume, so this does not necessarily mean all of this is going into their pocket, because this could be users selling their individual cards on the marketplace, but it is also the repack component as well. 17 million in January. February, 42.6 million. 42.6 million in sales volume. Dollars. March. We're halfway through March. 24 million. They are probably going to clip February. Remember, March is a slightly lower month. Now, a decent chunk of this is Pokemon. In fact, about half of this is Pokemon. There is a Pokemon-only version of this chart, and you could see in February, 24 million alone just in Pokemon. So over half in Pokemon. Now, once again, that's not all repack, but probably a lot of that sales volume is coming from the repack with the marketplace mixed in. Regardless, and like I said, I don't know what profit number they're making off of this, but just the fact that the total sales volume is 42 million in February is insane. Absolutely crazy. Now, Take this model and imagine what this would look like when InstaRips is fully online with Fanatics. Now, they're not one for one. InstaRips, you're buying it through a breaker. You know, there's some different things going on there. They're not instantly buying it back, at least not yet, but you're able to sell it on Fanatics Collect. I have to assume at one point it'll probably evolve into something like this, where there is a version that you could just go and buy into it without having a person there, and then there'll probably be a version of it where you're buying it through a breaker. How I envision it is they're going to come up with select high-end versions of these with very specific chase cards and sell those through the breaker. I could see them having lower end ones that they move on their own, where you could just, like this, you could just log in and buy a $50 Pokemon repack pack. I don't know that for sure, but that's basically how. Now, here there are no breakers involved on Courtyard.io, but that's where I kind of envision InstaRips going at some point in time. I could be wrong on that. But if Courtyard.io can generate 42 million in sales volume in February and already 24 million in March, holy smokes. Now imagine, kind of suck back, or take a step back from this. Imagine what some of the repack companies are doing in revenue that are selling to like a Backyard Breaks. Backyard Breaks buys their prepackaged repack products. A lot of people do. There's companies that all they do is build repacks. They have buyers out there. They send them to them. They put the repacks together, hand pack them, set them all up. Their pythons and their flamethrowers and their venom bombs and their this, that's, and the other things. And then sell those to breakers. Imagine how much money they're pulling in. This is just Courtyard, which is a small slice of the pie, most likely. Now you know why Arena Club is so popular. Imagine what they're doing. They're more well established than Courtyard.io is, in my opinion. I feel like more people know what Arena Club is than what knows what Courtyard is. It's just crazy times when you really start, when you just think about how much money 42 million in sales volume is in one little slice of the repack pie. And now you know why, when you walk a card show, every other table has massive buying signs. Why repackers are walking around paying 90-95% on cards. I've said for years, if the regulation word ever comes around, and I have no idea if it will, it probably won't. If any sort of regulation ever comes to the repack industry where they can't sell them like they do today, like there's a bunch of hoops they have to jump through, you have to be licensed, whatever. If the repack industry ever dies, your ultra modern singles, your case hits, your kabooms, your downtowns, your purple swirly disco balls numbered to 75 of some meaningless color parallel that means nothing, that stuff is in big trouble. The amount of money that the repack side of things keeps the hobby afloat, keeps the liquidity moving around the circle, allows you to open a box or buy into a break and hit a card and send it off to grading and get it graded and then sell it to one of these companies or one of these people, put money back into your pocket so you can rinse and repeat the entire process all over again. And then meanwhile, you got the gamblers on the other side that are sitting over there pulling the slot on the slot machine to get these cards out of the repack. And then in Courtyard's case, immediately selling it back to the repacker for 80% or whatever. I don't know what they offer, but whatever they offer. It's a hell of a business model when you lay it all out. And that's why everyone's flocking to it. That's why Fanatics probably spent a ton of money to build out InstaRips. That's why you're seeing tons of Courtyard.io ads. That's why Backyard Breaks is basically untouchable on Whatnot, even with all the dumb stuff that they've done, because the amount of money that they generate for everybody involved. Curious for your thoughts and comments down below. All I got for you. Catch boys and girls on the next one. Peace.